Hey guys, it's Brooke here, and I know you guys are expecting another topic about partying and drinking or sports. But I want to talk about something more serious than those topics. Sexual assault. Have you ever been sexually assaulted or known someone? Chances are you do know someone, but they haven't admitted it. What do these women have in common? Oprah Winfrey, Lady Gaga, Queen Latifah, Angelina Jolie, Reese Witherspoon, Jennifer Lawrence. They've all been sexually assaulted in their lives. In the article Child Sexual Abuse is a Widespread Problem, they write a bunch of stunning facts, including 1 in 6 women and 1 in 33 men have been a victim of an attempted or completed rape in his or her lifetime. Take that in for a minute. Think of 6 women in your head: your best friend, mom, sister, aunt, grandma, anyone. 1 in 6 of them will or have been sexually assaulted in their life. How crazy is that? What's even worse? The same article wrote 82% of all victims under 18 are female, and females 16 to 19 are 4 times more likely to be a victim of a rape or attempted rape. But it's not over just now. Sexual assault cases can happen to anyone, wherever they are. This includes little tiny toddlers like 4-year-olds, all the way up to 95-year-olds. Doesn't that trigger something in your mind about how wrong this is? Let's take a minute to talk about child sexual abuse. Every 8 minutes, Child Protective Services finds evidence from a claim of child sexual abuse, according to the Child Sexual Abuse is a Widespread Problem article. How crazy is that? Can you imagine the guts it takes to hurt a child like that? They don't even know what's going on. Maybe they think it's normal. In this article from the National Center of Victims of Crime, 1 in 5 girls and 1 in 20 boys is a victim of child sexual abuse. That's more likely than adults. And the kids who are most vulnerable to this are ages 7 and 13, a 2nd grader and an 8th grader. But child sexual abuse doesn't exclude non-contact abuse. It includes exposure and child pornography. A study from Child Sexual Abuse Statistics in 2005 showed that about 63% of women who had suffered sexual abuse by a family member also reported a rape or attempted rape after the age of 18. And kids who don't live with both of their parents have a higher risk of being sexually abused. How sad is that? Think about this one. According to the article, Child Sexual Abuse is a Widespread Problem, 71% of all rapes occur before the victim has reached the age of 18. I have a task for all the teachers out here that listen to this. Educate your students on sexual assault. Inform them what the true meaning is, the difference between rape and consent, and maybe go over some different scenarios and ask them if they think it is a sexual assault case or not. Let's turn this subject to college students. What pops into your head when you think of college? Partying, studying, free time? What about sexual assault? It's a huge problem that happens to a lot of college students, yet the predators get away. Athletes in college get away with so much, ranging from copying homework all the way to sexual assault. Let's talk about Baylor's football player, Taveen Elliott. Imagine a 6'3", 250-pound linebacker talking to a tiny 5'3" girl named Jasmine Hernandez at a party. According to sources, Elliott knew her because of mutual friends. He was pouring hard liquor for her and her friends earlier that night. Long story short, he ended up raping her behind a secluded shed. Imagine one of your friends coming up to you at a party and dragging you all the way out just to leave you behind a shed raped. Miss Hernandez isn't the only girl who has been sexually assaulted by Elliott. And since this incident, sexual assault by Baylor football players have multiplied, ruining Baylor's reputation according to the rise and shame of Baylor Nation. Let's take a look at this list of colleges that have the most reports of rape in 2014 from the Washington Post. Coming in at 1 is Brown University with 43 reports in just 1 year. Following Brown is UConn, and so many more great colleges and universities, like Harvard, University of North Carolina. And coming in last is Stanford with 26. How nasty is that? Most are Ivy League schools. It's not just small, tiny schools that get reports of rape. Something needs to change. Whose fault is it to you guys? The victim? The predator? The schools? Who do you even blame for this? Are the victims asking for it? Did you know that sexual assault happens in prisons? Is there any place where you're safe from these horrible actions? An article from Prison Writers has a horrific story, one from Thomas Guerrera. He explains his prison rape experience and didn't leave out any details. Thomas only had one leg to begin with, and 2 gang members used that to their advantage. The end of the story includes Thomas being so fed up with being raped that he ended up punching an officer and got charged with more and sent to a supermax facility. What else was he supposed to do? Just let it happen? The gang members told him if he would tell that they would kill him. Is telling worth the risk of your life? What's your opinion? Imagine being locked up for a crime you did. You know what you did is wrong. But what's even worse, you get sexually assaulted, even by guards, officers. According to the article, Prison Rape, What We Know Today, 18% of sexual assaults in prison involve staff. Who are you supposed to turn to now if the people who are supposed to be keeping you safe from actions like this are the ones who are doing it? If I haven't gotten your attention yet, I bet I will with this next topic. Imagine you have a grandma in a nursing home. You assume she's getting help with everyday tasks, but what you don't know is that even elderly people can be sexually assaulted. Now that just sickens me. This is a problem, not only here, but nationwide. I read an article from Nursing Home Abuse Guide where they stated 12.2% of elder sexual abuse were assaulted in their own home. Their own home. The place where people feel the most safe. 14.6% were assaulted in the sexual offender's home, and 70.7% occurred within nursing homes. The reason I told you to think about your own grandma is because females are 6 times more likely than men to experience elder sexual abuse. A chilling article from CNN reports about a real-life case of this. Grab some tissues. This is a sad story. Maya Fisher, a daughter to an 83-year-old woman who has Alzheimer's, had to speak on her mom's behalf in court. She made a statement of a nurse assistant convicted of raping her mother. Her mother didn't have an easy life to begin with. She fled from Indonesia as a kid with her family to escape the rape and killing of young girls by Japanese soldiers. Decades later, she still couldn't escape it here. The reason her daughter knew about the sexual assault in the nursing home is because of a fellow caregiver seeing a male nursing assistant in the room with Sonia at 4:30 a.m. The caregiver saw Sonia's diaper open on the bed and the nursing assistant thrusting back and forth, and she knew she needed help. What if the caregiver wasn't there? Would people still believe Miss Fisher? The male, George, was pleaded guilty to 3rd-degree criminal sexual conduct and sentenced to 8 years in prison. How many more cases need to happen before someone stops this? Just think about all the victims and how scared they must be just to be alone with someone. I know I just dropped a bunch of information on you, but remember this. Boys, walk girls up to their cars or up to their houses. And girls, walk your own friends to their cars and up to their houses. And make sure you don't go places by yourself late at night. We can prevent sexual assaults by just doing simple actions. Please let this stunning information hit you as hard as it hit me.